Hey everybody, welcome back to the Working Man's Whiskey. I'm Bobby. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you all made it through the week okay. Long week for me, guys, I'll tell you that. I was in the city, working in San Francisco, installing fire sprinklers in a new business. And cranking on pipe all week, getting filthy all week, and really didn't feel like doing anything as far as the review goes when I got home. Just hanging out for a while, going to bed, doing it again the next day. Stuff we all do. But anyway, just wasn't really feeling it. So I told you guys I'd do a couple reviews this week. So what I'm doing this review right here. And I'm going to do another one right after it. So make up for a little lost time. It's Friday. Who cares, right? Let's just drink some whiskey. So I'll tell you a little bit about Maker's Mark. As you can see here in front of me, we got the regular Maker's Mark, and we have the Maker's 46. And a little bit about Maker's Mark itself. The distillery was founded in 1953 by a guy named Bill Samuels. And Bill Samuels founded the distillery. Knew he really didn't have a whole lot of time to, age out different mash bills or recipes, and for the whiskey, for the whiskey. And so he decided he'd take 7 different mash bills that he created, and he'd bake them into loaves of bread. And he made 7 different loaves of bread, and had people taste, each one. And he made 6 of them with rye, and he made the 7th with no rye. It had corn, red winter wheat, and it had malted barley. And that was the one that was chosen by the people doing the taste testing. So to this day, Maker's is made without rye. It's made with, as I said, corn, red winter wheat, and it's made with malted barley. So very consistent. Over the years, it's a true small batch whiskey. I know a lot of people don't really put a whole lot of credence into that. Feel like it doesn't hold a whole lot of water. Everybody claims to have a small batch these days. Well, Makers, they claim that their small batch is a true small batch. That it's made with right around 19 barrels. 19 barrels of whiskey. I mean, it's 1,000 gallons or so, but that's really not a lot as far as a small batch goes. That to me is a true small batch. And Makers is really good stuff. Some people feel it's overrated. I don't feel it's overrated. I feel like it's kind of a trendy whiskey that continues to get more popular and gets more coverage, and everybody it's kind of up in arms about it because it was kind of it's for a long time it was just kind of under the radar. When you compare it to things like Jack Daniels or Jim Beam. But anyway, now it's very popular, and to me, deservedly so. And Makers is it's aged for around 6 years, and what they mean by that, around 6 years. Is they have tasters in the company who they taste the whiskey when it gets close to 6 years, and they determine by taste if it's ready or not, which I think is great. I can't tell you how many times I've had a bottle of whiskey sitting at the house, and I taste it and I'm like, it says it's aged 6-7 years, but who was tasting it to determine whether it was ready to be bottled or not. Somebody wasn't really putting in the time. With this, as I said, the taster's determined by taste when it's ready, and I think that's awesome. And so it could be a little more than 6 years, could be a little less than 6 years, but it's right around that time frame. So anyway, last thing I'll tell you about Maker's Mark. We all know the signature red wax on the bottle. and the label. You know, it's really recognizable. Both of those were created by Bill Samuel's wife. She just thought it would stand out. You know, needed something to stand out, and here we are. How many years later? 64 years later, and still using the red wax. So stood the test of time, and you know, I think it was a great idea. I think the lady had some great ideas. So anyway, let's take a look at this first one here. And I poured a smaller amount in these two glasses than I usually drink, because we'll be doing that third whiskey, the second review after this. And, you know, I feel like drinking some whiskey, but I don't feel like feeling it tomorrow. So let's just go with this, guys. It's a nice kind of, it's right about medium amber, actually. It's a very nice color. You know, some good barrel char in this bourbon here. And on the nose, guys, you get, I get a little bit of toffee, a little bit of like a corn sweetness, but with makers, you tend to get some kind of cinnamon spice in there. You know, they don't have that rye in there, so I guess it's from the probably from the wood, but it gives it kind of a cinnamon type note to it, which I love. Definitely some fruity notes in there, some citrus. I also get I don't know if I get like a plum in there or something, but there's definitely some kind of ripe fruit in there. It's really good though. It's a very nice nose to this makers here. Some vanilla and some wood as well. Let's take a taste. And on the palate there, guys, got a little bit of sweetness, but not overly sweet. It's got a little bit of spice, that cinnamon spice we talked about, vanilla and wood as well, and almost like a it's from the wheat, you know, but it's you know, wheated whiskeys or wheaters. They kind of give you a softness on the palate that you don't get with a lot of bourbons that have rye. I love rye. I love the spiciness, but although this does have some spice, it's very, very soft on the palate, and it's a nice quality, I think, to this whiskey. It's a nice, easy sipping whiskey. Good mixer as well. But as you guys know, I like to drink it straight, so I recommend all of the above. Get a bottle of this. Like I said, this box here, two 375 milliliter bottles, was $21. But for a big one of this, for original makers, you're looking probably low to mid 20s, which I think is a very good deal for this whiskey. So as far as the rating goes, I'd give makers, I give it an 88 out of 100. You know, it's very, very good. It's not my favorite, but it's very good. Definitely a very good wheat whiskey, and I highly recommend it. So let's finish this up and try this other one here. Okay, so Maker's 46. It's the original Maker's mash bill, aged for about the same amount of time, and then I don't know if it's like a year or close to a year before it's done aging. They put in French oak staves, which are you know, the planks of wood that make up a barrel. So that French oak just gives it a much richer type flavor and just nose and everything. And looking at it already, you can see, if you guys can see, but I can see it looks a little bit darker than the original makers. And just already looks, like it's maybe not aged more, but just aged more fully, I guess you could say. So let's take a nose. And with this one, the wheat comes through a lot more, in my opinion, with the 46. The wheat comes through a lot more. You get darker fruit notes to it. You get cherries, cherries and maybe some plum or something. Definitely get a little bit of wood in there. A little bit of caramel. Let's go for a taste, guys. On the palate, guys, this is great stuff. Very, very good stuff. It's, as I said, it's just richer in flavor, in my opinion, than the original makers. Darker fruit notes, a little bit more wood, a lot more spice. That cinnamon spice is just like a full on bacon spice, and it's almost like a fine wine to me. I mean, it's I mean to sound all snotty or anything. I'm not that way, but it just tastes elegant to me. And just looking at it, it's beautiful in the bottle. It's almost like a sunset or something, So Maker's 46, highly recommend. It's definitely one of my favorites as far as wheat whiskey goes, wheaters go, whatever you want to call them. Very good stuff. Let's see if it says anything cool on the bottle. No, it just says, interested in learning how the unique taste of Maker's 46 was achieved? Contact me at b.samuels@makersmark.com. You guys go ahead and do that if you want to. It's just very good stuff, as I said. And a big bottle of this, around this area anyway, $30 to $35. I mean, in some places it's up around 40, but I see it commonly around here around $30, $32, something like that. So try it out. I'm going to tell you right now, I'll give this one a 93 out of 100. I think that's a fair rating. I mean, for the price and what it is just delicious, guys. Actually, I'm going to try a little bit more. Guys, if you try this, let me know if you get almost like a sarsaparilla thing in there. Sarsaparilla, the old-timey root beer type stuff. It's got a lot going on, and I feel like it just it has a lot to give, and recommend it, both of these. And that's it for this one. I'll be back in just a few minutes with our next review. So hope you enjoyed this, guys. Thanks for watching as always, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Till next time, cheers.